Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Before I get into today's video, let me say that it is my intention to get on here sometime in the next 2 weeks and do a video about the opt-outs that are happening right now, pretty much almost on a regular basis now, except for a few exceptions in the bowl games. I've been hearing a lot of talk about it, whether it's on TV, on the radio, at work, in the car, in the newspaper, whatever. So I figured if everybody else has an opinion on it, I might as well go ahead and give mine too. So it is my intention to have a video about that coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So if a couple of weeks goes by and I do not talk about it, somebody please remind me to talk about it, because if I forget, it's just an honest mistake. It's not that I meant to forget, I just forgot. But it is my intention to talk about it coming up sometime here in the next couple of weeks. But today we're going to do a quick review of all the bowl games from yesterday, because after the bowl games from yesterday, for the most part now, bowl games are over with. LSU and Kansas State do have a bowl game coming up on Tuesday night. But outside of that, for the most part now, bowl games are all over with except for the national championship game, which comes up 1 week from tomorrow night on Monday night, January the 10th. Yesterday, Arkansas beat Penn State by the score of 24-10. Arkansas finishes out the regular season with a record of 9 wins and 4 losses, and Penn State finishes out 7-6. Now, Arkansas going 9-4. For a lot of people, that would be considered a mediocre season, which record-wise, honestly, it is a mediocre season. But as bad as Arkansas was just a couple of years ago, for them to have a 9-win season this fast, it shows that Sam Pittman has them going in the right direction. He needs a few more key pieces, and I think Arkansas has potential to be a top 10 team. And then just an amazing game. Oklahoma State beat Notre Dame by the score of 37-35. Oklahoma State finishes out 12-2, and Notre Dame finishes out 11-2. And Oklahoma State coach Mike Gundy said this was the single biggest win in the history of Oklahoma State football. And I know a few weeks back I talked about Brian Kelly being a better coach than Ed Orgeron and being a better coach than Les Miles, but I didn't know if he would be able to recruit or not. So even if he is a better coach, if he can't recruit any better, it's not going to do him any good at LSU. Well, Notre Dame is now on the verge of having the highest ranked recruiting class in program history. So far, Notre Dame is doing good things off the field without Brian Kelly. Of course, we won't know how much good that does them until the next couple of football seasons. And then we had Kentucky and Iowa. Kentucky won the game 20-17. Kentucky finishes out with a record of 10-3, and Iowa finishes 10-4 since they lost the Big Ten championship game. And for Kentucky, a 10-win season probably feels like a national championship to them. Just like Arkansas winning 9 games, Kentucky hasn't sucked as bad as Arkansas has, but Kentucky, ever since Mark Stoops came there, they're generally a 7 or 8 win team, but they don't have many 10-win seasons. So congratulations to Mark Stoops and Kentucky. I know I mentioned on Friday how close of a game this would probably be, and it was 13-3 Kentucky at halftime, and then Iowa actually took the lead 17-13 until Kentucky scored late in the game to win the game. There's actually a lot of similarities between those two programs because, if I'm not mistaken, Mark Stoops actually played for Iowa, and when he played for Iowa, Kirk Ferentz, who is the current Iowa head coach, was actually an assistant on that staff. I'm not positive about that, but I know the Stoops boys are from Iowa. I'm pretty sure that Mark Stoops played at Iowa, and Kirk Ferentz was an assistant coach when Mark Stoops played. And both programs are pretty much middle of the pack in their respective conferences as far as recruiting. So both programs pretty much bring in a bunch of 3-star guys and a few 4-star guys and have to develop them to have a good team. Kirk Ferentz has been at Iowa 23 years, and I believe this was his 4th 10-win season, which is on the average about every 5.5 years. So if he can bring in a bunch of 3- and 4-star freshmen and make them stay all 4 years, by the time they become seniors, Iowa has a 10-win season, and that's pretty much what Kentucky does now. Their running back has been there, seems like, forever, and they just had a 10-win season, so congratulations to them. And then we had Ohio State beat Utah, and it was the same exact score as Purdue beating Tennessee on Thursday. Ohio State won 48-45. Utah was up 38-31 going to the fourth quarter, and the Buckeyes scored 17 in the fourth quarter. Ohio State finishes out with a record of 11-2, and Utah finishes out with a record of 10-4. And Ohio State receiver Smith and Jigba, I think, had 347 receiving yards in that game, so a career day for him. And then last but not least, last night we had Baylor beating Ole Miss by the score of 21-7. Dave Aranda is doing tremendous things at Baylor. If he stays there, just like Arkansas, they're going to be a legit team coming up here in the not too distant future, because it's only his second year, and they finish out with a record of 12-2, and Ole Miss finishes out with a record of 10-3. So any thoughts on any of the games from yesterday, please feel free to let me know. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I plan on talking about the opt-outs coming up here in about 2 weeks. So if I forget about it, somebody please remind me. But it is my intention to do a video about that. It's going to be kind of lengthy because I want to, be clear about why I don't like it and all the bad things it does, and maybe how we can fix the opt-outs, just like I did a video a couple of weeks ago about how we can fix bowl games. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What do you call a cow with 2 legs? Lean beef. If the cow has no legs, it's ground beef. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.